Welcome to our channel, where OP destroys the reputation of the hypocritical religious fanatics who tried to tear her family apart. Our next post is from a user. Imagine losing your husband in a tragic accident, only to discover he'd been living a double life, cheating on you, fathering 2 secret children, and dragging your teenage daughters into a storm of betrayal and abuse. Now imagine his parents, your ex-in-laws, trying to steal custody of your kids, shame them in public, and smear your entire family in front of their church. That's what happened to me. But instead of breaking down, I fought back. And my revenge. Oh, it was divine. I'm a 46-year-old mother of 2 amazing daughters, 17 and 15. Life wasn't perfect, but we were surviving. That was until last year when tragedy struck. My ex-husband died suddenly in an accident. Now you might expect me to grieve deeply for him. But the truth is, I had already started grieving long before his death, because he destroyed our marriage with betrayal. He cheated on me. And not only cheated, he fathered 2 sons with his affair partner. When he died, his mistress also passed away in the accident, leaving those 2 boys orphaned. And suddenly, the weight of his sins came crashing onto me and my daughters. Enter my ex-in-laws, my former mother and father-in-law, 80 and 78 years old. You'd think, given everything, they'd offer kindness, support, maybe a little understanding to their grieving granddaughters. Instead, they became our tormentors. They tried to sue for custody of my kids. They demanded that the affair babies come live with us. And when I refused, when I stood firm to protect my daughters, they began a campaign of manipulation and guilt. To them, my daughters weren't traumatized teenagers. No, they were unchristian, unforgiven bad girls who were failing in their duty to love the poor babies. But here's the kicker. My daughters were the ones who discovered the affair in the first place. They saw their father with his mistress. They carried the crushing weight of telling me. Can you imagine how traumatic that is? Fast forward to a few weeks ago, it was my youngest daughter's birthday. To make a day special, I gave her some money and told her to go wild at our local weekend farmer S-Market, buy chocolate, sweets, whatever she wanted. An hour later, I got a call. Her voice was trembling. She was crying. She said, "Mom, these women are surrounding me. They're saying horrible things." My heart dropped. I sprinted through that market, dragging my older daughter with me. And there they were. 6 older women, church ladies, literally circling my crying child like vultures. They were hissing things like, "How dare you refuse to see your grandparents? A good Christian girl would take care of her poor baby brothers." My daughter was shaking. I could see the terror in her eyes. Something in me snapped. I pushed through the circle, wrapped my arm around her, and told my older daughter, "Go pay for the candy. Take your sister to the car." Then I turned to those women and unleashed years of pent-up rage. I told them how dare they harass a child. How dare they bring their twisted version of morality into my daughter's life? They shouted back, calling me a bad Christian wife for not obeying them. Obey them. My cheating, lying, manipulative ex's parents. Please. The shouting grew so heated that market staff forced us all to leave. And as I walked to my car, these women followed me, still squawking like vultures. I drove off, but inside, I was burning. That night, after my girls went to bed, I got online. A friend from that very church messaged me. He apologized and then told me the truth. My ex-mother-in-law had posted this long, dramatic sob story in the church's Facebook group. According to her, my daughters and I had abandoned her, left her homeless, penniless. She claimed the affair babies were actually surrogates, that I couldn't have more kids. So, my ex's mistress carried them for us. And why didn't I take them in? Oh, because they were boys. Can you imagine the audacity? Twisting my excess betrayal into my fault, painting herself as a saint, and me as a cold, heartless woman who hated little boys. Worse, the church members were eating it up. Prayers for this poor woman. What a cruel wife and mother. My ex-in-laws were basking in sympathy, while my daughters were crying themselves to sleep. That was it. I wasn't just angry anymore. I was determined. You see, when my ex died, our divorce wasn't finalized. Which meant I still had every piece of evidence I had collected against him, proof of his cheating, his lies, his manipulation. And I could use it. So I did. The next day, I went to a print shop. I printed everything, hundreds of pages. Photos of my ex, making out with his mistress in our living room, texts between him and his parents, where they encouraged his cheating messages, where my in-laws called my daughters bastards and said they caused their father's death. I paid extra for high-quality glossy prints. Then, I sat down and created binders, beautifully organized, like him books. And on the very first page, a photo of my ex and his mistress kissing underneath the love story of ex's name and mistress's name. That Sunday, I walked into that church. I calmly placed the binders on the back desk where they kept him books. Then I left, and I waited, and I waited. Oh, the gossip mill exploded! By noon, Facebook was a battlefield. My ex was labeled a cheater. His mistress, a Jezebel. My ex, hypocrites who enabled him while abusing my children. Even the pastor had to step in to calm the outrage. Letters of apology flooded my mailbox for my daughters' invitations to return to the light. But the best part, my ex-in-laws were utterly humiliated. Shunned. They left the church. Posting. Pitiful Facebook rants about how no one cares for the elderly anymore. Poetic justice. The very people who harassed my children, who painted us as villains, who tried to rip apart our family, were now publicly disgraced. And me. I didn't even have to raise my voice. I just let the truth speak louder than their lies. My daughters finally feel seen. They know their father's betrayal isn't their fault. And my ex-in-laws, they'll never dare cross us again. Wow. Oh, sometimes the greatest revenge is letting people see themselves clearly. And karma can be a beautiful thing. Those poor kids, though, my heart goes out to them. What a terrible situation to be born into. Thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate you stopping by today! And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Thanks for listening, and see you next time!